Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new IGTV episode. Cassandra with you here. You can find out more about me at cassandravon.com. You can also check out the 26 plus books I've written on Amazon at overcomingfearbooks.com. That will take you straight to my Amazon author profile. All right, this is a big one because I used to do this. I probably did this from about, 13 years old to probably about, let's see, I had my first when I was 19, and he had that get it together talk with me when he was 5. So probably till about 26 or 27. And this is a really important thing because I think so many of us do it. And the topic for today's IGTV episode is, do you apologize when you're wrong? Do you apologize when you're wrong? And I'll tell you the story. So I used to be the kind of person in my early 20s where I always said sorry. I always said, I'm sorry. I was just one of those pitiful 20 somethings that always said, I'm sorry for everything. And I had my first baby at 19, way too young, but I did. And when he was in kindergarten, one day I was picking him up. I believe it was half day kindergarten. I was picking him up from kindergarten. He was 5. So at that point I was 24. And I said, I'm sorry for something. I don't even remember what I said I'm sorry for. And he looked at me and he said, Mommy, sorry doesn't make good. I have never forgotten his statement. Mommy, sorry doesn't make good. And I realized in that moment, it made me super aware of the fact of how much of the time I said sorry. And not sorry for things that I did do. Sorry for things that I wasn't wrong on. And so when I saw this quote by Samantha King, let me give you the quote. Samantha King said, for too much of my life, I've apologized when I wasn't wrong, all to make a situation better. I'm not going to be that person anymore. Let me read Samantha King's words again. For too much of my life, I've apologized when I wasn't wrong, all to make a situation better. I'm not going to be that person anymore. How often have you apologized when you knew you weren't wrong? When you knew that the only reason you were apologizing was to keep the peace. The only reason you were saying, I'm sorry, is because you didn't want to get into conflict. You didn't want to start a hot mess of a situation. You wanted to avoid conflict. How many times have you apologized when you knew you weren't wrong? When you didn't do anything? When you were just apologizing for taking up space in a room? I've done that. I've lived that for far too long. I finally got to the end of my 20s and stopped doing that shit. And here's what I want to say. If you are someone who is saying I'm sorry incessantly for everything, kind of nudging somebody in the grocery aisle, stepping on somebody's toe by accident, cutting somebody off in a conversation because you're so passionate about what you're talking about. Do you know how many people cut you off in a conversation and never think twice about doing it and never apologize? And yeah, a lot of people are going to say, well, but it's manners. Be nice. Be nice. You know what? I think nice is bullshit. Be real. Be real. Part of being real is being kind. But you know what? There are times where kindness is not the necessary tool of the moment. Be real. Not nice. So what am I saying at the end of the day? If you are somebody who is apologizing when you're not wrong, you are betraying yourself on a very deep level that you have no idea you're doing. You are cutting your self-esteem. You are ripping your self-worth to shreds, and you are ruining your level of self-respect. And I want you to feel the magnitude of what I'm sorry, I was wrong, when you know you aren't wrong. You are literally denying the truth of your soul. And I'd say, cut that shit out right now. Because you betraying you is the worst thing you could do for your entire life. You not respecting yourself enough to call a thing, as Ian Love Van Zandt would say, is the definition of ruining your life. If you can't speak the truth when you're right, how will you ever be able to stand against people who are wrong? So much of what we're talking about in society today is social justice and social justice warriors and standing up for the little guy and doing what's right on behalf of other people. You can't do what's right on behalf of other people if you aren't standing up for your own self and calling a thing when you know you're not wrong. Before you go out and picket something and riot and do all of these things you want to do, standing up for other people's rights, learn how to stand up for yourself first and stop apologizing when you know you're not wrong. It's one thing if you are sorry because you did something wrong. You feel that it's wrong. You want to make amends for it. It's another thing to lie to yourself and others, all to keep the peace. You know what? When you apologize when you're not wrong, you are creating an internal war with yourself, and there will never be peace. There will never be peace. So at the end of the day, if you are doing the shit that I used to do, which is apologizing when you know you're not wrong, cut it out. You will lose your soul by doing that forever. Cut it out.